This is Randy Byrd with Tuesday Titans Live. So Christopher and his beautiful wife, Summer, own a boutique brokerage in Arkansas, the Walmart capital of the world, right? Isn't that right? You're in Bentonville?
That's it, Bentonville, America.
Bentonville, America. And that's Walmart headquarters, right?
It is. This is where it all started.
Interesting. So I'm curious to talk about that corporate relocation and all that kind of stuff too, because I can imagine, I didn't think about that, but it's probably significant. But before I get started, let me just talk a little bit about you for a minute, kind of brag on you for a minute. You've built a really successful boutique brokerage, 25 agents. You're doing about 300 transactions a year in that brokerage. And it's called the Brandon Group, which very classy name. Obviously, it never goes wrong when you use your name. Beautiful wife, Summer, she is the broker, really the principal designated broker, right?
She's the boss.
So the smart one in the family, clearly.
That's right.
And one of the things I definitely want to talk about it that I did not know when we chatted earlier was it is the mountain bike capital of the world, like trail wise and stuff. And
it is.
I looked at that a little bit. It's really, really amazing what they've accomplished there. And is that part of the Walton family that's like investing in that infrastructure?
It is, yeah. You don't necessarily think of mountain bikes in Arkansas, but here in Northwest Arkansas, it really started. But it's part of the Walton family. The grandsons of founder Sam Walton love mountain biking, and they decided to share that with the region, and they continue to do that at the pace of about 3 miles per week.
Whoa, what?
3 miles per week.
They're installing 3 miles per week of trails and bike paths.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a mixture of paved trails, so you can go. For those who aren't familiar with Northwest Arkansas, from Bentonville to Fayetteville, where the University of Arkansas is, just a little bit outside of that, there's 36 miles of paved trail where you can ride, bike, walk, and then on top of that, there's hundreds, thousands of miles of dirt track and other types of trails.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. I can't wait to come out there and check that out. We talked about that. It's definitely on my list, and I'm going to make it out there this year. That's just a place I really wanted to come out and spend 14 days and just discover, right? And just, I really like doing that. We're in a place now we're able to go and stay for a couple of weeks and really get kind of into the culture, into the local, experience.
Yeah, it'd be great. Let me know, and I'll take you to lunch.
Well, you kidding me? I'm staying with you. Are you?
Well, come on over.
Yeah, right. That's that Arkansas love. No, we got this. We'll definitely eat together. But so take me through the journey, man. I want the listeners to hear kind of the podcast for me is important because Tuesday Titan Live is about highlighting the Titan in the industry, right? Somebody that's really going after it, crushing it, having success. And then we push it to Like a Boss podcast, which is my podcast. And it's that entrepreneur, right? You might have young agents listening to this that want what you have, what you've accomplished. Yeah. You might have seasoned agents that want to scale and build. And so I'd love to dig into that with you today, but start me on the journey. When did you get your real estate license and what did you do before that? So to give some context.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kind of bounce it around a little bit and kind of do it out of order. But essentially, growing up locally in a small town, I always enjoyed real estate. I bought my first house when I was 19 and fixed it up, made some money and went about it, a few more times. And before I met my wife, and whenever I met my wife, she had been practicing real estate in Dallas for a number of years. And I convinced her to move to the wonderful state of Arkansas, where
so you're salesman early in the relationship.
Right. Right. And at that time I'd gone through a few different stages. I was a general contractor and somewhat of an entrepreneur, and had always enjoyed real estate. And so whenever we met, she was qualified to open up her own brokerage. And so she's very strong-minded and didn't want to share commission with anybody else or do what anybody else, was telling her to do outside of the commission. So she's very particular on following the rules, but so opened up her own brokerage. Shortly after that, I I was licensed just to be able to help out
Yeah.
here and there, open doors and do different things like that. One of her passions is yoga. So she would teach a yoga class twice a week at a local gym, and many of her students were mothers that were raising their children, and their children were beginning to go off to school. So just through conversation, she would say, you're intelligent and you're capable, and you're looking for something else to do. Would you like to try, real estate?
Yeah.
Originally, there was no plans to have any agents. It was just going to be us. We were going to do our own
Really?
thing and not have to worry about anything. But, honestly, and just to kind of share this at a different side of the coin, a lot of times people get into real estate. Hey, I'm gonna build a big team. I'm gonna make a lot of money. We're really gonna take things over. Our approach was, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to help some people, and we're going to make some money in the process.
Right.
But it was interesting because the first several agents were yoga students that their kids were off into school, their husbands had good jobs, and they were looking for their place in the world. And so this gave them direction. This gave opportunity to go out and see houses, to spend time with people, and to make some money. So we've continued to kind of go on that same track. It's really interesting, and as you mentioned, from a sales standpoint, people will come and interview with the brokerage, and it's kind of a testament to my wife. They'll share, hey, we're doing this kind of volume, and we like the group and would like to come on, and she'll stop them and say, that's great. It's not about numbers for us. It's about taking care of people. What's your heart? Is
Wow.
it, you want to take good care of people, and it's not necessarily counterintuitive, but it works really well because those people tell someone else and tell someone else.
It's infectious. It spreads, good or bad, right?
It is. And back to her being a stickler for the rules, we've been able to gain a very good reputation in the area just for, okay, we're going to do it by the book, and
You're going to do it the right way.
Correct. And so it's again kind of counterintuitive that the slow roll as opposed to the going out in the big approach and trying to go big, and in our numbers for the area, we've depend on what the rankings are, but it depends on what the competition is actually. But we've been top 3 in the area for specifically for reader's choice of a local
That's cool.
magazine. And then as far as numbers go, we're in the top, well, less than the top 30, where
Pretty
we stand.
significant from a little husband and wife not really wanting to do too much with it in the beginning.
It
kind of
is.
a modest beginning.
Yeah, it is. And even though it's small in Northwest Arkansas, there's about 3,000 agents here in our local board. So there are a lot of.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah,
that's pretty significant. What and what year did you start this group?
Back in 2012.
Okay, cool. So you're doing very well. When you have a integrity-based mission statement like that, it tends to weed out the people that are not living in that integrity, right?
Yeah.
And then it multiplies on what you want to accomplish. We talked, I have an organization as well, and I'm really focused on, what can you do to always create that community? And there's really a pull now. And that's why I think a Petite Brokerage is a great interview on the show, because I think the market's changing. The bigger brokerages are going to be dismantling, in my opinion. That brick and mortar through COVID was proven to be something that is not necessary scalability wise. I mean, you have an office, you want to add value and have a place for your agents. That kind of comes with the territory. So do I. And even though I'm in a cloud-based brokerage, I still need that for my local teams, right? But I think as we transition, and let me know if you're seeing this where you're at, is the value proposition of what used to be that big 200-300 agent brokerage, and you needed to go in to get the data and they had all the control. That's really the power is shifted to the agent and to the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. Just more and more, the agent's office it's in their pocket,
Totally.
in their pocket, in
their kitchen,
Yeah, wherever you are, you have the technology to do whatever you need to. So it's as many of the traditional businesses have gone. It's remote. And
That's a great point. So from your perspective, I mean, you guys obviously have one or more offices.
we just have one.
Okay, that's good. I believe in that model. So you have one office, and what are you guys as a brokerage doing to stay in front of this? Because that is something that adds great value, is giving the agents more opportunity to work autonomously, right? To work with your systems and things like that. Have you, from a broker's perspective, and you've got a good size office, 25 people, what's on your radar for value proposition in the future?
Things that we're continuing to focus on are just ways to leverage technology to help the agents be more efficient, as well as, I mean, even in this world where you have many people wanting to buy property, there are very few properties to actually be purchased. Just continuing to add leads and get good leads and share those with the agents to keep everybody busy.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in your model, like, say for instance, you have an agent that's wants to be like you when they grow up, right? And they're going, I want that. I want to have an office that with 25 people and doing a good number of transactions. What would be a step in that direction for them? Like, what did you do in your journey in 2012 yours seems like it came through not necessity, but kind of by accident almost, of right, opening your arms and come up with a value proposition that was attractive, clearly, because you've been successful.
Yeah, essentially, I started out, working with friends and family. My background is in IT sales, so I've spent quite a bit of time.
Sales to sales, though, right?
It is. It's I'm a customer service guy at heart, but I'm coin operated. So I'm driven by that sale, but I want to help people. So it's interesting. But to your point, actually, through the brokerage, Summer has really focused on working with people individually and understanding what their goals are. And some people, they're happy, just I don't want anything other than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, leave me alone, and
Right,
I got a system.
And then some people, they have aspirations, and they want to be bigger, they want to be better. And so Summer takes them under her wing and shows them, okay, one day you're going to open your own brokerage, and this is what it looks like. And
I love that.
Them to come along to just grow people. And it, saying it out loud, I mean, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but you're going to spend all this time building.
It sounds counterintuitive, but actually, I was
competition.
I was actually on the edge of my seat, because that fires me up, right? Because in our industry, and me as a team leader, back when I had a private office, 25 agents, very similar, right? That's why we were tracking. I was kind of privately wanting to not give them everything because they'll leave, right? So you got this give and take.
Right.
But when I transitioned to a completely giving, then all of a sudden it was more attractive, and I started growing rather than living in a lack mentality. I'm living in abundance, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, this is abundance. And so I really dove into that, but it's so valuable to hear that mindset from you.
Yeah.
And, I've always told all my agents, hey, I want you to get your broker's license, because that's a pinnacle of knowledge. And it also gives you flexibility. I could leave this planet in an airplane. I want you to have flexibility, right? And that creates more protection and trust. Right. So it's this counterintuitive, as you said now. So if you're listening to this show, really think about that, because if you limit your people of what they can learn and what they can grow as, they're going to leave you.
Right.
If you give them the keys of the kingdom, some will leave you, and it's going to hurt.
It will. Yeah.
right?
Some go and some don't. But at the end of the day, if you can look back and say, I did the right thing and I helped them, and you can see that it helped them. And when you have the right people in your organization, they're appreciative. They'll tell you, I really appreciate this, but now is the next step in my journey. And
Totally.
I'm gonna need to take that step.
And they become ambassadors for you as well. You know, we talked, and this is why I invited you to the show. I could just tell that you're the kind of leader that people are attracted to, and they trust you, and you have sticking power because of that. You know, and we're in a cutthroat business. You know, that this business can be, you know, quite troubling sometimes to look at from a competitive standpoint. And of course, we're all bound by code of ethics and different things. But when you look at it, there's, you know, it's a competitive sport environment, right?
Absolutely.
I've
Absolutely.
got people that are my best friends. We go on a listing appointment together. We're all feathers are up,
Right.
and we're all, you know,
All
hey,
business.
hey, baby, you know,
Right.
we're still going to drink beer Friday, but I'm going
Right.
to kick your butt right now.
Yeah. Same way here. I mean, we're a population in the whole of Northwest Arkansas of about 500,000 people, and we have
Wow.
3,000 agents to serve only 500,000 people. So you work with the same people over and over, and you see it. You sit next to them at church, and you sit across from them at at the restaurants
It's true.
and the sporting events and t-ball. So it's you have a choice. You have a choice. Is it am I going to live or die over this deal, or are we all going to do what's best for the client?
It's so true. And at the end of the day, it's a very emotional place because of the amount of money that's involved for all parties, right?
Yes,
It,
absolutely.
we talk a lot about it's the biggest transaction a seller or buyer will ever make and all that stuff. True, but it's also usually the biggest transaction a agent might make.
Right.
We're vested into this financially, and there's a lot of work. We don't get paid anything until it's a done deal. So that's
Yeah.
why it can be so emotional towards the end. You got this month's worth of work and relationships and hurdles and all these things, and it comes down, and it's easy to get knuckle to knuckle on the fighting for what you believe is yours. And
Right.
so it can be a challenging business in those moments, right?
Absolutely. And then
But
roll in maybe some bills that slipped in, and a closing or two that pushed, and a
yeah,
client that walked.
supercharges the situation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It can get intense.
Yeah, it can, and I just appreciate sharing that. So I want to transition a little bit to the fun bike trail stuff. But any
Yeah.
words of wisdom you would give an agent listening to this that wants what you have, that really you've led a successful career? Any words of wisdom or anything before we leave that
Um,
work segment?
two simple things. Two simple things. Persistence, and treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Mm,
Do
do
those
unto
two things.
others.
Right, right. Those two things will get you so far. Persistence. People get busy. People get sidetracked, and for the most part, they're not ignoring you on purpose. Sometimes they are, but
Right.
just be persistent, and it pays off.
I love it, dude. You're a class act. I really enjoyed the sharing your work, experience, history, and success. That's been a lot of fun. So let's spend the next couple minutes on the fun side of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Why Arkansas? What, give me some statistics that you're aware of or fun things. I definitely love the mountain biking thing, but if we could spend a couple minutes on that, it'd be personally satisfying.
Sure. So it's interesting. I am in downtown Bentonville right now. I was born about a mile and a half from this location. So this has been home my whole life.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's interesting having Walmart here, because you literally have billionaires walking up and down the street in Arkansas,
That's crazy.
and dressed no different than you or I. You would have no idea.
I'm cool with. I'm attracted to that. It's cool.
Yeah, nothing flashy. It might be a fancy bicycle that goes rolling by, but it's Arkansas. You would think it's as it is. It's quiet. It's safe, but we have all these great amenities that have continued coming, and the basis is Walmart wanting to attract and retain talent to continue to grow their business. And
Interesting.
Absolutely. That's what's happening. We have a $1 billion museum that anybody can come to for free.
Wow.
Sam Walton's
Seriously?
daughter Alice built that, and there's an endowment from the Walton Foundation, so individuals can come and see works of art that you wouldn't be able to see anywhere else in the world, and you can
Wow.
go and see it for free. And
Wow.
in a sprawling,
And that's right in your area?
yeah, it's you hop on a trail, and
Wow.
I can walk or bike right
That's
over
that's
to
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I believe 2 or 3 years ago, they moved a Frank Lloyd Wright home from New Jersey piece by piece here and rebuilt it on the land. There's 150 or 180 acres that they have here in the middle of town. But it's interesting. We have hills. We don't have mountains.
Right.
We have hills.
Rolling hills.
Yeah, I mean there'll be a couple thousand feet.
Yeah.
Nothing giant.
Yeah.
But there's bicycles everywhere. There's people out walking around. And as you were talking about kind of in the beginning with relocation, one of the testaments to the area, and it's probably been 10, 15 years that this has kind of been the case, but in around 2005, Walmart mandated that if you do a certain amount of business with Walmart, that you have an office in the area. And whether it's an actual brick and mortar or whether you just have an employee that has a house nearby, they need to be able to get to the office within an hour if Walmart calls you.
Wow.
So that brought Hershey and Clorox and Procter and Gamble, everybody from all over the world started putting offices here, and they bring their people. So if I'm working for Procter and Gamble and I just get moved here from New York, I'm told you're moving to Arkansas to go work Walmart. What? No.
Yeah, right.
New York, what are you talking about going to Arkansas? But so often it happens just through the retail cycle. They'll spend 2 years here, then they'll go spend 2 years in Minneapolis with Target, or hop over to Walgreens.
Interesting. I did not know that.
But whenever they're here, once their 2 years is up, it's very common for them, even though they were brought here, kicking and screaming, they say, I don't want to leave. And their employer says, well, it's time to move somewhere else. And they say, well, it sounds like it is time for me to move somewhere else. And they'll go to another vendor so they can stay here.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. Well, Chris, it's been a blast. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks,
and your beautiful wife, Summer, make sure she hears that I've said it correctly twice now. Apologize, but I can't wait to come out there. I can't wait to come experience that. It's at the top of my list now after communicating with you and getting to learn a little bit. And so how can people get a hold of you if they want to? You're a stud. You're a great guy. You're who I would use if I had somebody going to Arkansas. So how could they get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of me is, pop on our website or email. You can catch me at our website is www.tbgnwa.com. Like
the Brandon Group, Northwest Arkansas. Awesome. I nailed it, didn't I?
And take a look and pick any of our great agents to help you out.
That's very nice of you, brother. I appreciate you. Again, thanks for being here on Tuesday Titans. You are a titan in the industry, and we appreciate you contributing to others. And if I could help with anything, let me know, man. But I appreciate you very much.
Same here. Thank you much.
All right, brother. Have a great day. I appreciate it. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Look forward to catching you in town sometime.
Yeah, I'll be there, man. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.